So hi everyone. So my name is Suresh Chokse. So today we will cover the Kubernetes parts topic and this part replica set. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so till now we covered the maybe parts part and Kubernetes concept. Okay, so maybe in the quickly I will cover the previous topic. Let me share. So, what is the pre-request? Maybe pre-request is that you should know about the Docker and the Kubernetes part. Okay, basic understanding about these things. Till now, we cover the what is the nodes. Nodes is similar as the virtual machines. Okay, previously we created the virtual machine in the GCP. Okay, and GCP is also the basic understanding. So we will learn the Kubernetes on with GCP. Okay, so previously we covered the nodes part. Okay, so nodes is similar as virtual machines. Okay, and suppose maybe if any nodes are failed due to the any reason, okay, so automatically our application is also failed. Okay, so application is not able to accept. So what is the benefit of this thing? What is the solution of these things? So Kubernetes is providing the one cluster concept in which we can create a multiple nodes. Okay, multiple nodes. If any nodes are failed, okay, okay, if any nodes are failed, automatically Kubernetes is taking care of the second nodes. Okay, second node for high availability. High availability means application should be available and always. Okay, so this is the thing. That's why we have the cluster. So now, if you can see, there is a cluster. Under the cluster, we have the multiple nodes. Under the nodes, we have the parts. Parts is a maybe a smaller part of the Kubernetes, and under the part we can integrate the Kubernetes container. Okay, container. So maybe I think everybody is aware about the container part. We have already covered the Docker part in the Docker section. So now in the here in the master session, we have the two concept, right? Worker node and master. Master is taking care the all the nodes, scheduler part, controller part, right? And the communication part, we are taking care from the master side. Okay, so architecture point of view. Okay, so maybe in the if you can see, we have the controller, we have the scheduler, we have the etcd, we have the kube API server, we have the kubelet and kube proxy. So etcd, we are storing the information about the nodes and the container and all the information as a key value pair as a dictionary. Okay, scheduler is scheduling the container. Whenever we are creating the container, it is scheduling the and container is going to the which nodes. Okay, it is scheduling the ability based on the nodes ability. It is scheduling the container. Controller is the brain of the Kubernetes. Okay, it is taking care if anything is failed in the node side and the pod side. It is taking care the another nodes or another pods should be created and applications should be always run properly. Okay, Q proxy is it is creating the communication between the master to these things, and kubelet will give the functionality in which we can run the we can run the Kubernetes command. And there is another thing, container engine. In the container engine, generally we are using the Docker in which we can run the container. These are the architectures. Okay, till now, and assumption. Now we can talk about the pods. So pods are the just like previously I discussed, pods is the smaller part of the Kubernetes in which every container is integrated with the pod. So if you can see in the Docker world, we are saying the container. In the Kubernetes part, we are calling the pod. Okay, so every pod we can attach the single container or multiple container also, and one node we can have the multiple pods. Okay, so Kubernetes has the cluster. Under the cluster, we have the multiple nodes, and multiple nodes we have the pod, and pod we can have the multiple container. Okay, and what is the pod? In case if any pods are failed, automatically maybe Kubernetes will create another pod. So reliability point of view. So our application always reliable. Okay. So fail point we can immediately it will create a pods and these things. Okay. And if you want to create a multiple pod, immediately you can create a multiple pods. Okay. And suppose maybe if nodes nodes can have some availability zone. So suppose if you want to create the three pod, so it can create a two pod and the one node and one node pod, it can create another node. Okay. So ultimately, load balancing point of view, if some nodes are not available immediately, our application will connect it with the another node with pod. So these things are very much important. Now, in terms of multi container pods, in the multi-container pod, then logically we have the one container in the pod, but we can have the multiple container into the one pod. So why we record these things? If ideal cases, if we have the required some helper container which is communicating the main container, just like driving seat, right? Sidecar. Suppose you are driving and if you want some helper which can help to the during the driving and during the all the things, maybe, and but it is always attached with the main container. Okay. And we if help we can't access directly helper container. If you want to access the helper container, you need to go through the main container. In this situation, maybe we can create a multi container. If something is failed and something is delete, automatically main container will also delete and helper container will also delete. In this situation, suppose maybe you want to create a payment services, or do you want to create another service, different service for get OTP and send OTP. So you can create a payments microservices here, and you can create another service container for the only for getting the OTP and sending the OTP, or maybe authentication point of view, you can create a service, common service. But common service we can't maybe if you want can't expose to the outer world, and it should be communicated with the main service with the local host server. So we can create another container as a helper container. Okay. Now we have the YML structure. Okay. So today we will cover the YML part. Okay. And now we have the kubectl. With the help of kubectl, what kind of thing we can cover? So first of all, before that, we have the Kubernetes part here. So okay, suppose clear part. If you can see, I have already this part. I have already installed the cluster part. Okay. So before this, if you can see, already run. So I will delete the part. I will cover this part, but before that I will delete all thing. Okay. And how to delete container, how to delete Kubernetes cluster from cloud side. Okay. uh, this part. See, cluster list using cell. Okay. Now, if you can see, so Dilip, that's why I'm asking, right? So this is a DOT AI. Everything you can ask from the this thing, right? Okay. So suppose you don't have the any direct access from the VM side. You can't access directly Google Cloud. So now company will give you the just like Google's SDK or Cloud Shell, and you need to connect, you need to delete, you need to update each and everything. You can do it by the only Cloud Shell. Okay. So drag and drop and the dashboard site you can easily create. There is no problem. Ultimate learning is the with the help of only command we can do each and everything. Okay. So how to get it? First of all, kubectl get cluster. Okay. Okay. What is the, okay? Does not have the type. Okay. Kubectl get Why it is not seeing? The server did not have the resource type. Okay, something is problem. Kubernetes cluster using Cloud Shell run the following command. So what is the problem? Let's see. 1 minute, okay? I'm getting one call. Sorry for interruptions. Okay, 1 minute, okay? I'm getting the what is the I'm getting yeah, uh, server does not have a resource type extra running your extra now. Right. Okay, we can see. Okay, the error the server does not have the resource type occur when you try to run the kubectl get cluster command on the cluster that does not exist. To resolve this issue, make sure that you have the specific correct cluster name. You can find the name of the okay, got it. So G cloud container. Okay, good. So G cloud container clusters list. Okay, so what is the thing I have? My cluster name is my cluster. Okay, now I know the name, how to delete the thing. Okay, what is the command? G cloud. So this command will access the whenever you inside the Kubernetes command. Okay, so once you have inside the Kubernetes GKE part, you can directly access to the Kubernetes kubectl get cluster. But right now we are in the Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell don't know about the what kind of command you need to connect. So if you want to get the cluster list, so first of all we need to connect the G Cloud container. So G Cloud is the Google Cloud command. Then we need to mention the what kind of command we need to run and which resources we need to run. Okay, so container is the for Google Kubernetes side. So G Cloud container, and then we want to check the list. We want to get the list of the cluster. Then list. So G Cloud container cluster list. Similar kind of thing. I want to delete the cluster. So basic command G Cloud container is command for the Kubernetes. Now we want to delete the list, right? So what is the thing we need to delete? Cluster, then delete, then cluster name. What is my cluster name? Okay, so delete is one of the location zone must be supply. Okay, let me check. Okay, so must be supply. Okay, what is the zone it is available? Location. Okay, so location. Okay, location is a US Central 1-A. Okay, the following cluster will be deleted. Yes, deleting cluster, my cluster working. Got it? Maybe uh, blip.
So the cluster is already installed by default in G cloud, right?
No, it is not by default installed. Yesterday during the my practice, I installed in the my system. With the help of the cloud shell, you need to delete, you need to install. Okay. So first, whatever cluster I have, first of all, I need to delete it. I need to clean the Kubernetes part.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this kind of activity, whenever your task is completed at the end of the day, always you need to clean each and everything. Always. Okay. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So suppose you, whenever you are doing the practice, right? So once please create a cluster new, then complete your task, and during the completion of the task, wherever you are closing the day, then you need to clean each and everything, otherwise it will consume some resources, right? Then it will like, require some payment. Okay. So cleanup is very much important point of view for the cloud
Yes.
point of view. So people are asking that question, how do you clean the all the things, yeah. Okay, from the this part, maybe in the cloud cell. So we should know about the these activities. Okay, how do you get the list, how do you delete the cluster, and what is the mandatory commands also, just like if you can see. So these things you should know about, right? In the whenever we are deleting the things, okay. So one of the location, zone, region must be supplied. Okay, you can't delete directly, because we have the, suppose in my cloud we have the multiple zones, right? So which cluster you want to delete, right? Suppose I've created the cluster in the different region, different zone, right? So it can't delete the all the cluster, right? For all the region. So we need to mention the proper location and the region also. Okay. So
Yeah.
here
Okay. Yeah.
I will mention the command. So what kind of command I have already run? If you can see, and how to create these things: G cloud container cluster create my cluster. How many number of nodes I want to create? Three. Which zone I want to use? US Central hyphen 1A enable IP aliases, right? So now how to get the list? Okay. G cloud uh, container clusters list, right? Now I want to delete the thing. Okay. So what is the command? Gcloud container clusters delete. Okay. My cluster. Okay. Or you can mention the zone also. So either you can mention the zone. Zone is US. During the creation, you mention the zone, right? And hyphen this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So just like previously we are doing the this kind of practice in the Docker, right? Similar kind of practice you need to do with the this part. Suppose if you are inside the Kubernetes, then you can run the different command. But once you have the cluster, right? Once you have the cluster, and you can run the directly kubectl command. But so because kubectl command will will run once you have the cluster. Okay, otherwise it will not give the error. I'll tell you. Okay. And if you want to do some operation on the cluster level, then you can't run the directly Kubernetes kubectl command. You need to run the, first of all, gcloud container and cluster. These are the very important part. So this is the container level, or this is the cluster level. Okay. So this is the question generally, maybe interview will ask the question, and it will give the proper scenario. Okay. Now if you can see, cluster is get. Now I want to run the whether the cluster is available or not. Okay, how to check it? Gcloud container cluster list. Okay, blank, right? Now I want to run the simple command get pods. Okay, so we, if you can see, there is no connection, right? Connection refused because I don't have the any cluster. Got it? So it will not run. Now suppose I want to create a cluster from scratch. So I can pick up here clear command Okay. So same time it is taking the thing, whatever steps you are doing for the Kubernetes side here, right, with the autopilot and the standard mode, similar kind of thing you can create here.
Okay, yeah, understood.
If you can see here, so this part, it is created, right? My cluster, it is working. Okay. So once status is running, right, or created, then it will give the confirmation. So with the help of everything, you should know about the command, because in the interview, maybe he can't give the task. Hey, Dilip, can you open the Google Cloud dashboard? Can you create a cluster for me? Right? He can't ask this question, right? And but in the interview, he can ask for command. Hey, Dilip, can you give me the command how we can create a cluster, right?
Yes, yeah.
So commands is very much important. So you should know about the command, right? And sometimes we can't copy these things. Okay, and the GK and the certification also, in the certification we can't copy anything. So you should run these things just like in the lab, right? In the lab you need to run all the commands.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so you always do the practice on the lab, you always do the practice on the GCP, and you once this part is completed, similar kind of you need to install the Kubernetes in your local system. Then you can create the, you can run the all these things. And this is the this practice, Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, this kind of practice you need to do daily basis, or maybe on a, during the 6 months or during the job also. Docker, Kubernetes is maybe you will use the next 10 years, because this is the fundamental thing. It will not replace. Nobody replace the Docker and Kubernetes. Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's why it is very important part. So, and Kubernetes, this thing is common for any cloud. Suppose if you are using the GCP, so you have the some wrapper of the GKE Kubernetes engine. Suppose if you are using the AWS, so you can use the EKS, Elastic Kubernetes engine. Okay. And suppose if you are using the Azure, you have the different this thing, different maybe portal, different resources. But ultimately, every cloud will use the same cluster, same Kubernetes. Commands are same, concepts are same. That's why just like Docker is same, Kubernetes concept is same. So once you enter into the Linux machines, all the commands are same, right? So entering the resources, commands are different based on the cloud. But once you will enter the resources, all the concepts are same. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Any question till now? Hey Rohit.
Hi, sir.
So do you, any feedback, any work you have done till this week?
So only practice or on Docker. I have not started Kubernetes right now.
It's okay. It's okay. Not an issue. Maybe, but at least Docker you are comfortable, right?
Yes.
Okay, because in the Kubernetes, because Docker concept will use, because ultimately in the we are using the Kubernetes for managing the multiple container, at least container concept, right? Image creation, right? Logging, right? This kind of concept you should understand. That's why Docker is very important, and Kubernetes very important, because whenever we are jumping into the next phase, right? Deploying the things, we are using the GCPs. At least you should know about the Docker and Kubernetes. Docker and Kubernetes is a fundamental thing. Okay. So till now we cover the this part and do the practice day by day, day by day. Okay. Now if you can see master is healthy, if you can see master is healthy, that means it is giving the confirmation, and every time it is changing the status. Okay, what is the status it is giving? So now master is healthy. So master is created. Now it is connected to the all the things, and same times you can see the compute engine also. If you can see here, compute engine, three nodes, right? Three node is created. Are you able to see, Dilip?
Yes, yes, sure.
So 3 nodes is already created, master is healthy, and now it is giving the final confirmation. Okay, so meanwhile we can learn about the this part. So kubectl. So if you want to run the any image, okay, so kubectl run nginx just like docker run. So we have the command kubectl run nginx. Nginx is the pod name. Okay, hyphen hyphen image. So now what image you need to pull? Okay, so kubectl run nginx hyphen hyphen image nginx. So with the help of these things, you can create a pod. And how to check the pod? How many lists? Maybe if you want to check the how many pods are available, then kubectl get pod. Okay, this part. Okay, so if you can see the list, right, name, okay, nginx, then it will add some string unique unique skill unique keys. They're ready. How many? Suppose if you, in the one image, if you are using the multiple, so suppose if you are using pulling the image, but in the image itself you are using multiple container, right? So you can it will give the 2 by 1, 1 by 2, right? And if both the containers are running inside the image, you can it will give 2 by 2. Starting status is the running, restart how many time it is restart, and age. Okay, and the commands maybe if suppose if you want to check the all the description about the pods, you can run the kubectl describe pod name and then pod and pod name. So this is a practice test argument. This is docker concept. We have already covered this part. Environment variable. There is 1 minute config map create. Okay, this is a different topic. Okay, it's okay. Secret. Okay, core concept configuration we are not covering, so we need to jump into the YML part today. Did you cover the YML part? Maybe Dilip?
Yeah, basic, not too much.
Yeah, so we will cover the basic part only. Okay, if you can see here, yes. Oh, this is the continuously part. Okay, okay. Commands and argument. This is a very important part. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, Kubernetes architecture, create and configure part, commands and arguments. So in the commands and argument, right, in the just like in the Docker part, right? So if suppose if you want to pass some commands, right, we can give the sleep command during the sleep command, right? So we can give the command just like Docker run Ubuntu sleep 5, right? So at least our the container will run for at least for run for the 5 seconds, right? This kind of thing. So from Ubuntu cmd 5 command param 1 cmd sleep 5. Okay, so so suppose if you want to run the there is a multiple ways cmd command param 1. If you want to send multiple argument, right? So cmd command double quote and param, and just like cmd sleep 5. Okay, different. So because you are passing two arguments. Okay, so docker run and Ubuntu this part you can mention just like from Ubuntu and cmd sleep 5. Okay, and from Ubuntu cmd 5 and the entry point, right? In the entry point maybe suppose sleep is available here. Okay, and entry point. So so in entry point maybe sleep we can mention, and we can pass the number of commands in the runtime. Suppose command at a startup in the during the Docker file you have mentioned the sleep 5. Okay, but in the suppose you want to change the time, right? You can't change, right? Missing operand. Okay, so in the entry point you can mention the these things. Suppose maybe in the from 1 to entry point sleep and CMD 5, that means you can change the runtime timer. So sleep is the entry point, always it always fix. CMD you can pass from the command. So sleep 5, sleep 10, sleep 2 point something 10 20. Okay, suppose if you want to pass a complete command, then you can mention in the sleep 5. Suppose if you want to pass only one argument, then you can mention the entry point sleep, and second command is a CMT. So with the help of entry point and command line, you can pass the argument. And similar kind of thing how we can run the on the pod side. So we will cover today. Okay, so once pod is created, yeah, it is created. Okay, so if you can see, so it is created. How to check the all the things? Basic command kubectl get, first of all, nodes. How many nodes are available? If you can see, all the virtual machines name is available, right? So how to check the pods? Get pod. Suppose I want to create a new pods. So how to create it? So run nginx. Nginx is the pod name. Then which image I want to use? Nginx. Okay. Now I want to check again. It is running. So this is the one of the way. Second way is very simple with the help of the YML file. Okay. So if you want to use the YML file, so we can use the command. Okay. Suppose I have already created the one folder k8. Okay. We will go with the k8. Okay. Again, inside this thing, I will create a demo. Okay. And maybe in the I will create a demo, and I will go inside the open terminal. Okay, open folder demo. You can go here. It is very easy, just like Visual Studio Code. You can use the this thing. Suppose if you are if you want to use the YML. Okay, so sometimes YML is very these things. Maybe you need to create a maybe this Visual Studio Code editor, because it will immediately you can remove the space issues. Okay, so new file. So what is the thing I want to use? Pod definition dot yml. Okay, so four in the whenever we want to create a pod with the help of the YML, four part is very much important. First is the API version. Okay, then kind, then metadata, then spec. These four part are the mandatory for whenever we are creating the pod or any resources in the Kubernetes. One by one we can explore. Okay, in the API version, so which version we want to use for creating the pod? Which, so we have the v1. Then what kind of resource I want to create for using the YML? I want to create the pod. Okay, okay, suppose now, and everything in the YML, everything should be on the same line. If you are using the same line, that means all are the parent. Okay, and if you are creating any space, that means if you are mentioned like this, that means so metadata is the child of the kind. Okay, so it will give the error. Okay, suppose now in the metadata, we have the metadata is a dictionary. Dictionary means key value pair. Okay, and the object inside the object we can create a more dictionary. So in the metadata, so what is another property of the metadata is a name. So what is the application name? So my app pod. Okay, this one. Now another property is the labels. So why we are using the labels? Because in Kubernetes we can have the multiple container, but how we can distribute it? Just like suppose you are working on the different projects, right? And you have the in a company there is a lots of employee, but how you next is maybe how your manager, how system administrator can identify you. So they will provide you the ID. Based on the ID, based on the ID, anybody can connect with you. Just like in the container, okay, whatever things are required for identification point of view, we are mentioned in the under the labels. So metadata is it is storing the information about yourself. Okay, so labels, then app. What is the app name? My app. Okay, these things. So minimum this thing is very much important. Okay, what
So,
kind of type?
Sur-
Yeah,
Suresh, one doubt, like in metadata, you given name, right?
yeah.
That one on this app, are they same or?
So yeah, so suppose I want to use this name for the connecting the another services. Suppose I want to use this app pod for connecting purpose. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So we can use this my app pod. So just like
Okay.
maybe in the R command kubectl run application name, right? Okay, so this
Okay.
is the
Okay.
for pod point of view. So metadata is a we can connect with the this part, but in the pod we can create a multiple container, right? So
Yeah.
this label is a pod label, pod name. Okay, and
Okay. Yeah.
what kind of
Understood.
pod we are creating? This is the identification. Suppose, so in which project you are working? You are working on
So
the,
inside that pod, that level, right? Okay.
yes. So what kind of pod you are creating? So I can say front end pod. So we can have multiple pods. Suppose I want to create a service for multiple pod. Okay, so name is a unique name of the pod, but I want to give some type. Okay, suppose I want to connect multiple pods of front end. Okay, okay. So this kind of thing we can use for the for connectivity point of view, or configuration point of view. Suppose you want to delete the all front end pod, so you can use this label. Okay, now metadata is done. Now what is the spec? In the spec you can use for container point of view. Okay, suppose if you want to create a container, now this information is about your pod. Okay, and now spec is specification, right? So what is the specification you have? What kind of content you are store in the inside the pod? So now same. So first thing is the container, right? So specs, after the spec, just like object, we need to mention the colon, then containers, multiple containers we can store, and whenever we want to use the list, right, we need to mention the this hyphen, then two property is very much minimum two property. What is the name of the container? So we can use nginx, and what is the which image you want to download, right? So image
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, nginx, or suppose you are
Yes.
creating this thing
Understood.
and you can create
Yes.
any image, right? Now all the thing is completed, right? Automatically it is saved. Again jump into the open terminal. You can see the cd command. What is the ls command? Under the ls command, right, we have the demo. Go to the demo, and again you can check pod, right? Just verify the all the things it is properly working. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, now what is the command we need to create the part? kubectl
kubectl.
create.
Okay.
Okay, create with the, I want to create a part with the help of the file. So
File. Yeah.
hyphen file app, file name. What is the file name? This.
Pod definition.
Okay, if it is validate each and everything, if you can see my pod is invalid, metadata name invalid, is lowercase, always the lowercase. Okay, now
Okay.
if you are missing something, always it will give the error. Now I want to add it one more time. Okay, I want to go here directly, or I want to change. Okay, here save it, automatically save it. Okay, terminal. Okay, again I will check cat command, verify again every time, because your changes is reflecting or not, right? Now again I will run the command. Now pod is created. Immediately we can check whether it is created or not.
Get pods.
Okay, running. Got it?
Yeah.
Easy. Okay, suppose I want to create a multiple pod, right? Multiple pod. So what is the thing? First of all, how to delete the pod?
kubectl delete pod
Delete pod my app, okay, and pod. Okay, now I want to create a multiple pod, multiple container inside the single pod. So how to do it? Same, we can open this. Okay, now I want to create a multiple. Then again we need to mention hyphen name, because this is the list, container list. I want to use the Redis. Okay, Redis is the database, these things, and image is the Redis. Okay, so this part. Now whenever we are running, okay, so currently what is the thing? There is only one Nginx. Now I want to use, I have already added, right? So I want to check the whether the command is available or not. Why? Oh, sorry, that part, this thing. Now my changes are reflected, name and Redis. I want to create again. Always run the command. Okay, so for understanding point of view, pod. Okay, so if you can see the list again,
should be 3 nodes.
yeah, 2 by 2. 2 by 2 means
Okay.
in one pod you have the
It has
two
2
containers.
containers. Okay.
Okay, suppose if any mistake, suppose one of the container is failed, suppose. Okay, so it will give the 1 by 2.
Okay.
Let's try. Okay, so we have the, I think, pod name my app. Let's see what is the thing. Okay, if you can see, it is open in the configuration file. Okay, suppose if you want to edit this part, and I am giving the image name wrong. Okay, I command container space, automatically edit it. Okay, now whenever we are running the checking the these things, what is the thing? One is ready, but second is a fail. What is the
Sure.
status? Error image full. Okay, so what is the thing? I suppose I want to do this investigation. So how we can do it? kubectl
Describe
pod, which pod I want to check. Okay, so there is some events are happening. Okay, so first part is the scheduler. Okay, scheduler is scheduling the thing, right? It is scheduling the container continuously basis, and it is assigned the nodes also. So what is the from default scheduler successfully assigned to the default my port to the this node. So what is the first event? Okay, scheduling. Then pulling image nginx, successfully pull image, created container nginx. So first part is the first image it is created. Pull the image and create the container. During the pulling image Redis successfully image this Redis this. Now in the edit condition, right, container Redis definition change will be restarted. Will be restarted, right, because we added the this part. So backup pulling image Redis and error image pull, right, fail to pull image Redis RPC error, right, unknown description, fail to pull and unpack image, right, this thing. Got it? Now I want to edit the thing. Okay, edit. I want to go here. Okay, now we can check it. Okay, 2 by 2 is running. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is very simple part. Now suppose maybe in the in your condition, so there is some requirement in which maybe you need to create a replica set. What is a replica set? Suppose in your project your expectation is you have to create a 3 pod for load balancing. Okay, if any pod is deleted, automatically maybe replica set will create a third pod. So what is the mean? High availability. Okay, suppose there is a multiple nodes are available, and in any case, in any pod are deleted, immediately replica set controller will create a this thing, because in your project minimum 3 pods are should be created for the sharing the loads. Okay, so load balancing and sharing. Okay, in your project requirement is the you need to create a 3 pod for load balancing. Okay, and taking the all the loads. So how we can create a this thing? Okay, for how we can create a multiple pods, and always my condition is always in any case, suppose all the pods are deleted, so automatically replica set will create a minimum 3 pods in any
Reports.
situation. Okay, so replica should just like replica, right? Database replica. So as a backup point of view, if anything is failed, immediately we can use the thing. Similar kind of thing we can use for the this part. So what is the thing in the replica set? So what is the command? API version apps -v1 kind replica set metadata. So my app replica set and label, just like previously I told you, right? The labels my app on front end. Okay. Suppose what is the main benefit of the type, right? Suppose I want to suppose you have the multiple container, but after the container created, okay, previously last year you have created the pod, right? But after some time you want to create a replica set. So replica set we are using for the monitoring point of view, just like we are monitor the pod health check, right? So replica set continuously checking the monitoring all the pods are properly working or not. Okay, but how they will check, and which condition they can check, because you have the 100 container. So type is very much important. So that's why whatever type you are mentioning front end, okay, in the replica set container you need to match the selector, match label, okay, and front end. Okay, tier to whatever key value you have given, right? Type front end or tier front end, you can mention in the under the selector, match label, and tier front end. So it will check what kind of what kind of type, what kind of container what kind of pod he want to check it. Okay, if anything happen, immediately it will create a pod. Okay, and what is the next thing is how many replicas he needs to create always. So minimum number we need to mention. Okay, so what is the proper definition? API version apps-v1 kind replica set metadata my app hyphen replica set labels. This is the label of the replica set. Okay, now under the specs, what kind of pod you want to monitor. So you need to mention in the template. Under template, same code you need to mention. Whatever code you mention in the metadata or specs, you need to mention here. Okay, and replicas 3 selector match label and type. Okay, so now we can create this part, and after that, and scaling also. Okay, so how, suppose there is a number, right, number 3, and suppose you, if you want to scale up, you want to scale from 3 to 6, so you can scale up replicas number 6 kubectl scale replicas 6 and hyphen app replica set control. 1 minute, someone in the door, 1 minute. Hello. So maybe we can scale up also in the runtime. Okay, and we can scale down also. Okay, so suppose if you want to scale that thing, right, so we can change the number from 3 to 6. Okay, so kubectl replace, we can replace that thing also, and we can scale the replica 6. Okay, and these things with the help of the command. Okay, and we can scale down also. Okay, this part. So type is a replica set, okay, and name is a either we can run with the help of the YML file, and either we can run with the name also. So these are the commands. If you can see commands kubectl create a replica set. Suppose I want to create a replica set, and how we can get the replica set? Kubectl get replica set. If you want to delete the replica set, kubectl delete replica set my app replica set. And suppose if you want to replace, okay, suppose you have done some changes in the replica set configuration and you want to replace it, okay, so you can replace the thing. And suppose if you want to scale down from the coding, okay, so then you can scale down from the scale down scale up. Suppose if you are increasing the number, we are saying scale up. Suppose if you want to reduce the number, then we are saying scale down. Okay, so this part we can try. So how we can do it? In the demo, open editor, okay, we can create another file, replica, okay, set dot YML file. What is the thing? API version colon apps v1, okay. Then what is the thing? Then kind replica set metadata, okay, name my replica set, okay, always small, okay, always small. Why it is? Okay, now labels. Okay, so in label we can mention the okay, type or something. Okay, so in the label we need to check the what is the label. In the label, okay, label is a my app. Okay, so this thing, whatever label you have mentioned in the application site, same label you can mention the my app also here. Okay, then app, which app you are using? My app. Okay, and what is the thing? Type, same type, front end you are using the replica set for the type of the front end. Okay, now always check the why we are using this part, because if you can see here, tagging is very much important, right? Tagging. Okay, now what is the thing next? Spec. Under the spec you can see the template. Okay, under the tab template you can mention similar kind of information. So whatever information we have created here, right here, okay, same information we can mention in the here also. We can copy the tagging and we can mention here. Okay, now tagging is very much important. Okay, labels here, 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 we can mention the tire. Okay, then mention, always check the space, right? Space, check the number, right? Space, otherwise it will not run properly. Okay, now what is the thing we need to do? Now we have mentioned the metadata, we have the spec also, what kind of space we need to create, and now we want to create a how many replica you want to create, right? So it will always come to the specs part, the same part. Okay. Done. Okay, so what is the command? Replicas. Okay, how many replicas are available, and then selector. Replicas. How many replicas we want to create? 3. Selector. Under the selector, we want to check match. Okay, what is the match? Match label. Okay, match labels. Match labels. What is the match label? Same. Whatever things we have used, front end. Okay, type front end. Here is a type also. Okay, not in me mention. We can mention type. Okay, and we can mention here type front end. Okay, now
Suresh, that should be inside specs, you said, right?
so this part.
The replica selector, yeah.
No, this part, no, this part specs is your container information, whatever, how, what
Okay,
part you
okay.
want to monitor. This part your under the your replicas information. Okay, let's check if it is not working, it will give the error. Okay, let's check.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, now we can check the command. First of all, we need to check the replica. Yes, it is working. It is working. Now, what is the command I want to use? Create command. Okay. So
kubectl
create. Okay.
replica set.
Replica set spelling replica set hyphen app replica. Whether it is giving or not. No. kubectl hyphen f. Let's check. Create. Okay. Create hyphen app directly. Okay. So without whatever things is mentioned in the kind, it will create. Okay. Okay, so if you can see a error from the this error when creating the replica set is version v1 cannot be handled by the replica set. Strict decoding unknown replicas. Okay, unknown field replicas, unknown field replica selector. Okay, same thing. So it is not available. One by one we can mention the this thing. Okay, so what is the thing mentioned here? Yeah, so you are right. So it always that spec part. Okay, so this kind of error we will get. Okay, under the spec. So this error will you need to understand the thing. So if suppose strictly decoding error unknown field is not available, that means it is not validating under the outside the spec. If we can change this part, if anything is giving the error unknown field, that means there is some problems from your side. Now it should be in the same line under the parallel to the template, otherwise it will create a child of the template. Now we can check match type apps v1, save it, cat command replica created. Now how we can check? Get rs command is also working. Yeah, rs is short form. Okay,
Okay.
so if you can see kubectl get rs. Okay, and how many my replica set? 3, current 3, ready is 3. So desired is a 3, and how many current is 3, ready as 3. Suppose desired is 3, and suppose you deleted the pod. Okay, 2, and ready is a 2. So we can check how many pods are available. If you can see my replica set 5 and y this. Okay, and always previously it is created new 2 1, but I have previously 1, right, my
Yeah.
app. So that's why it is created. Suppose I am deleting the anyone kubectl. Suppose I am deleting the previous one. Okay, delete my pod, my app -pod. Okay. Now I want to check the replicas. Immediately desired current 3 ready 3. That means immediately it will create a pod.
New one. Yeah.
Okay. And it is checking only the container, right? Okay.
Yes.
All the container, whatever container now I have mentioned, because in my app pod I have mentioned the two image, right? Two container, right? But in my replica set I have mentioned only one container, right? Do you understand? Here
Yes.
in the pod information previously it was checking, it was we mentioned the two container, but in the replica set I was checking if this container he needs to monitor. Okay, only this. Got it? So
Yeah.
so it was checking the this container because this container is matching, right? This
Oh
container
yeah, already present. So yeah.
already present. But whenever I would delete it, so this container is during the creation, during the replica set, it will just create a this Nginx. Got it?
Yeah.
Now I want to replace the thing. Okay. Suppose during the any changes, I want to create a file. Okay. Now what is the command? kubectl replace. Okay, so what is the command? We need to do practice. Practice is very much important. Okay, replace -app and replica set. Okay, so -app replica set. Okay, now we can check kubectl get rs. Okay, 5 immediately, and we can check the pods also. Created.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to delete scale down from the code only. Okay, so how we can do it? kubectl.
Edit.
No, scale, and
Okay.
directly we need to mention the scale. Suppose in the coding you want to scale down or scale number, right? So scale replicas -6, or which file I want to use. Either you can use the file, or either you can give the replica name. With the alpha we can do the both the thing. Okay, scale replicas is equal to 6, previously 5. We are scaling up. Okay, now file replica. Okay, scaled. That means pod, if you can see number of 6 already done, right? If you can see get rs 6, right? Now I want to scale down. So what is the command? Suppose 2. Okay, so immediately it will delete the
Remaining.
any one, it is deleting randomly.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a one way I want to again scale up, but in the with the help of the file. I don't want to scale up for the file name. So what is the thing? The 7 replica set. Okay, my replica set. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
7. Now clear?
Yeah.
Easy? Okay, so this is for today. Tomorrow we will complete the other part. So I will upload this recording in the YouTube. Okay, and
Yeah.
please,
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
please this thing, and before these things, okay, please remove the all the part. So how to delete all the cleanup activity should be completed. So how to delete all the
Yeah.
things?
Yeah.
kubectl first of all get rs, right? Rs, and kubectl delete replica set my replica set Okay, now check all the commands properly. Okay, because it is very important, right? Only now I want to delete the get
Pod.
rs also. Okay, no qctl. I want to delete the pod. It is. Now I want to delete the cluster, right?
Plus,
Every
yeah.
time you need to check these things. What is the command? Container cluster list. Okay, so I want to delete this part. Cluster. Okay,
My cluster.
delete cluster for my. Okay, it is not required. Okay, and we need to mention the zone or location. Okay, US central 1-A. Okay, what is the thing? Clusters. Okay, clusters. Okay. Okay, yes. Okay, clear. Always you need to check all the resources. Okay, all the resources should be clear. Okay, clean up activity is very important, otherwise because in the cloud will charge lots of money. Okay, clean up activity is very important. So always whenever you are doing any activity daily basis, okay, daily basis, just like whatever services you are creating, whatever VM you are creating, whatever cluster you are creating, make sure after the practice you can delete the each and everything. Cleanup is very important part. Delete.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, and this is the command, and please type it maybe on daily basis, and automatically you will remember all the commands. It is very
Yeah,
easy
understood.
and very simple also. Okay, so
Yeah.
tomorrow so this part I will mention that what is the thing we have done. Okay, and tomorrow we will cover the deployment and namespace. If required, then we will cover the service also we can cover. It is easy. Okay, service also we can cover tomorrow. Okay, so thanks for the attending these things. Okay, I will stop and just stay for the 5 minutes. Okay, at least I will stop the recording.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks, Suresh.
1 minute. Where is the recording? Yeah.